This is the story of a woman marked by an image from her childhood. The scene that so stood out in her mind, one whose meaning she would not be able to grasp until much later in her life, took place in a terminal of LAX some years before the start of World War III.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, United Flight 1017 to Calgary is closing doors in 1 minute. Ticket and comfort passengers must be on board at this time at gate B49. Attention on the concourse. United Flight 1017 to Calgary is at its final boarding call.
LAX, early 1980s, Sunday. Parents bring their children to witness the marvel of flight as planes haul their weight, roughly 800,000 pounds each, into the air. The children think they look like metal-clad pterodactyls trying to wriggle out of clothing too tight for their prehistoric frames. The parents recall how at one time it seemed like magic to them as well. On this particular Sunday, the woman in our story, who was but a little girl at the time, grows tired of watching the planes. She wanders off and finds a television in one of the waiting rooms. She does not know that she is about to discover a window into her future, and perhaps into mankind's.
Bola, 7 years old, describing the same word. Jason.
They are a girl that plays with you when you don't have anybody to play with, and when you want to have honeymoon sometime, she goes with you, and she sometimes follows you every time you say no, but she keeps doing it. And sometimes people make friends with them. Sometimes they act kind of funny, and sometimes they don't listen to people.
Thank you, Jason. Jason is my kind of boy. Thank you, Jason. What word might be suggested by that, Lynn?
It was this image that would stay with her as the world transformed from a peaceful place of growth and beauty into a desolate landscape of war and destruction.
A couple decades later, World War III has destroyed the Earth and most of its inhabitants. The radioactivity has made 3/4 of the Earth uninhabitable. All meat was intentionally contaminated by both sides before the bombs went off in an attempt to starve out the other. But there are no victors. Both sides have lost. The few survivors were pescatarians or vegetarians way before the troubles erupted. The little girl at LAX, now a woman, is one of those survivors, forced to traverse blindly across a lonely landscape where everything has stopped growing. After so many years, it's too much. She gives up all hope and is resigned to let herself be consumed by the void.
But she does not perish. She is found by a handful of monks, who explain to her that she may have the ability to turn man's fate around. But first, they must sit with her and determine if that is the case.
They tell her that because of the strength of one image in her head, she has the power to affect change in a world on the verge of total collapse. With their help, she will travel mentally back in time to before the war. They make her aware of the risks. She doesn't care. Nothing could be worse than this reality. They send her back.
First, they send her back too far, before her birth.
One real good fine time drinking rum and Coca-Cola. Go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar.
They bring her back and discuss how to send her to the right time. They continue to try, but they go further back, too far back again. And then, after multiple tries, they get closer.
Until finally she sees familiar images. A landscape in a time of peace. A room in a time of peace. Real birds, real children, real dogs. A man in a time of peace. He looks familiar, but she can't figure out why. She starts to go towards him. He sees her, but she can't hold on anymore. She returns.
To the desolate world. They are anxious to send her back to find out more about this man. They sense something important about him. She goes back into his past and learns what led him to become him.
C'est pas l'homme qui prend la mer, c'est la mer qui prend l'homme. Ta-ta-ta. Moi la mer, elle m'a pris, je me souviens, un mordi. J'ai troqué mes Santiago et mon cuir un peu zone contre une paire de Dockside et un vieux ciré jaune. J'ai déserté les crasses qui me disaient sois prudent. La mer c'est dégueulasse, les poissons baissent dedans. Dès que le vent soufflera, je repartira. Dès que les vents tourneront, nous nous en allerons.
Grandma loved the sailor who sailed the frozen sea. Grandpa was that whaler, and he took me on his knee. He said, son, I'm going crazy.
È un mondo difficile e vita intensa. Felicità a momenti e futuro incerto. Il fuoco e l'acqua con certo calma canzonata di Bento. È nostra piccola vita, è nostro grande cuore. Porque voy a creer yo en el amor. Si no me entiende, no me comprende tal como yo soy. Porque voy a creer yo en el amor. Si me traiciona y me abandona cuando mejor estoy.
Then they meet. They go to beautiful parts of the world, living parts that existed before the war. He feels familiar somehow. She stays with him. She's able to stay longer and longer in this reality. In fact, she starts to forget her purpose in being sent there.
Until something reminds her. She falls out of the reality. The monks tell her that they are running out of time, but if the feelings between her and this man are true, they can amplify their love and have it surge throughout the world in order to prevent World War III from beginning. But they cannot do this if their own world collapses. This may be the last time they can send her back.
He's missed her, wonders where she went. He senses that if he doesn't do something to keep her close, she may disappear. She does not tell him that the future she comes from is on the edge of total destruction. He asks her to stay, close to him, in his life, by his side. She feels a great warmth, like a sun is rising from inside her, trying to make its way to the sky. She doesn't want to let go of him, afraid that she'll be pulled back to the desolate reality she's been sent from. But she does not get pulled back. The days go on, and she continues to wake up in this reality, one full of beauty, hope, and growth.
You